Alrighty, hello. This video is to continue almost like a video 5 extras for Reed's channel's quest system tutorials. Um, Specifically, I was talking with Chick Eyeshot on YouTube, going over, exactly how to add quests in sequence as you're going throughout the level. So, not all of them are spawned at once. Uh, Basically, the level loads, you have one quest, um, and then you continue adding quests as you go along. This was not in the video, and I know Reed's said something like it's a simple add-on, but I did not think it was so simple, and um, I wanted to kind of go over the code with you. So real quick, I'll just show a preview of exactly what I'm talking about. You start off on this kind of island thing, and you have a little phone with a quest list. We got our very first quest to find the weapon. Pick up the tube shooter.
No way I didn't write this down. Oh yeah, that's right.
So we'll go ahead and get up to the weapon. Oops, I'm dumb. Jump up here. Got our checkpoint. There's the weapon.
Whoa.
Alright, so we got our weapon. So, after we pick that up, that's our first quest. We can open that up, and now it's populated to open the gate and to shoot the button. So, go ahead and shoot that.
Yes.
That is our next quest completed. And since that has happened, it has updated again. Get past the blockade. And so on and so forth. This is our blockade. This is our blockade that we got to get past. Now we can keep going, but that's essentially the rest of the situation that you have. You can just keep using this over and over and over again. So let's go over the code. We're going to start over here. Get my camera in place. And this is where you should be left off after video 1. So we have our quest BP, right? On event begin play, you are grabbing that root objective collection, you're populating the objectives, and then you're activating that root objective. Now this is the sequence where, you grab all of the quest list from your character and it all populates onto whatever widget you're making. Um, I have it a little bit different with that phone, but it's essentially the same thing as the tutorial. So this is what you should have, and I'll show you how it's been updated on mine. So I'll go over the variables first because we'll need to refer to those as we're kind of walking through this code. So initially active is something that I added. It's exactly as it sounds like. We're going to be checking all these boxes on the Boolean, instance editable, blueprint read, expose on spawn, and private. And that is for, as it sounds, whenever you place the quest in the level, you have an initially active Boolean right here. So whatever one you want, and you can have multiple quests active. If you want 3 of them when you open up the level, good to go. Just go ahead and check that. Same thing for all of the other quests. Just make sure it's unchecked that you don't want initially active. Let's go over the code for that. Pretty much, instead of just jumping straight to activate object, there's a branch in place to find out if the quest is initially active. It's searching for that boolean, and then activating it and setting that. This is setting it active so the widget knows if it's active or not. So this is how it shows up on the widget. But I think that was gone over in Reed's channel's tutorial. My apologies ahead of time, by the way. This is my very first tutorial. I've never done this before, so if I'm over explaining or under explaining, My apologies. This is kind of complex. I mean, at least for my abilities here. Um, so that's that variable. The next one is not as important. This is how I discern between that special audio that you heard whenever the gate was being opened, um, as opposed to picking up the tube shooter. You didn't hear any audio. The special audio is just that song. Um, that's what this is for, and this is kind of where that comes into play. This for your code, it doesn't matter. This is how I did it for to play audio and to have my character celebrate and stuff. So you don't have to worry about this whole situation here with this variable. Not as important. um, quest widget. I don't know why this is here. Actually, I think I can delete this. I'm not using this at all anywhere, I don't think. No. Ignore this one. Not used. Next quest is exactly, again, what it sounds like. You're using the variable type as quest BP, um, which is just, a reference to quest BP. And then all these need to be checked. And then if you want, you can have as many as you want, really. You can have, 5, 6, 7, 50 if you want next quests. This is to trigger the following quest in the level that you're in after you have completed a certain quest. So those are all the variables that we need to focus on. And actually, there's one more that we probably want to focus on, but we'll go over that later. And yeah, let's see. These will populate here. Um, Essentially, what we want these next quests as is just you can click this little dropper here, and then you can just grab onto the next quest, whatever you want active. Okay. All right. So past this first activate code, which we have now, is the quest checker. And a quest checker is activated by whatever you want in the world. Um, for us, we have the destination checker blueprint, which I think was added in the tutorial that you guys watched. This would be destination trigger. This is a specific blueprint that you can add anywhere to activate a quest. Uh, for me, I just added the box over this blueprint for all the sequence to be added and everything. This is not really. This can be whatever you want, whatever thing you want to happen in the world. And then this box is added over it, so you're overlapping pretty much both of them at the same time. Um, and there's a variable in this destination checker of the quest BP, again, instance editable, so you can kind of check and everything to whatever quest this is related to. This first quest is relating to this box, so you can use this dropper and just link it to that quest. The reason why we're linking it is to grab a reference from it, get the actor of class, check to see if it's active. If it is active, we're going to be playing the quest audio again. That's my code. You don't need to worry about that. And then doing the quest checker. Okay, so this goes back to starting here. And then after it has done the quest checker, we can just destroy actor because we never want the player to overlap this ever again. If it's not active, then we just want to go back to reset because we don't want anything messing with it until it is active. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the whole destination checker. Again, this can be used for anything. A perfect example, I have a button being hit by the potato or the tube shooter, right? So this quest checker can be linked to any sort of action that you want. Just grab that specific quest, right? And then get the actor and then run that quest checker if it's active. This will always work because you're actually the only quest that you're going to be on is the one that's active, right? And then it'll run the quest trigger for that quest BP. All right, now that that's been explained, we can go through this code. for the quest checker. So we're checking the root objective of this quest, which is active, but got to do a branch, see if it's active. If it isn't, do nothing. And then this next bit of code is kind of just for audio, but I'll explain it because we're already kind of talking about it. You're grabbing your character here, right? And you're checking to see if that root objective is complete. If it is not, if it's doing a quest checker when it's not, we are going to run a subquest complete, which is essentially saying if you have a objective collection, like we saw in Reids channel's tutorials, you have multiple lights that you have to turn on. This quest checker can run for every light that you turn on. We'll just use that as an example. And if there are 3 lights out of 4 that are turned on, this will be remaining false because the root objective is not complete, right? So let's say you turn on 1 light out of 4, this false will run, and then the subquest actions will run, right? Um, and this can be anything you want. This is my code, but you can run this false as any sort of subquest checking off that line item in your quest list. Now, if it is complete, we're going to be running this code, which is a quest complete audio, the special sound that you kind of heard when we opened up the gate. And then this is where our variable of the next quest comes in. We're getting that next quest that you saw. We can link that here in next quest 1, 2, and 3. There's quest BP. Yep, we're getting that next quest. We are setting the current quest to inactive, okay? And then we're finding this quest that we have linked to our quest in the world as active. And then we are activating it, okay? Now the next quest 1 is active and the current quest is inactive, right? Past this point, this is optional. Quest 2 and 3 are being grabbed and activated as well. Like I said, you can have this as many as you want. You can go down to 50 if you want. We're waiting a little bit of time for these to activate, and then we are doing a quest celebration, which is my custom code. You don't need to worry about that. We are getting the... Didn't I do this twice? You don't need to do that again. Why is that done twice? Whatever. And then this is important. We are grabbing the menu or whatever your UI is, and we're doing an add quest custom command. I'm going to go over this here in a sec. This is important. And then we're destroying the actor so it doesn't come up ever again. All right, so let's go over to the menu here, which is in my case, a phone. But this is going to be exactly as it is for you. Let me just pull up that old code here. Okay, so this is what it should look like after the tutorial, after you're completed with it. It's grabbing you're grabbing your player and the quest list that your player has accumulated. You're getting an array and finding a for each loop, and this is why all of the quests show up at the same time, right? In addition to the initially active thing. What we need to do is change this to find that active and show it or don't show it according to if it's active or not. Hopefully that makes sense. So this is the old code. What we want it to look like is this. So we are grabbing our character, we're getting that quest list, we're running a for each loop. Okay, and similar to before, we're getting the quest objective, but this time we're checking to see if it's active or not. Okay, if it's active, we are going to grab that quest tree view, from the tutorial, and we're going to add the item if it's active. Okay, so if you have your next quest 1, next quest 2, next quest 3 as active after the quest is complete, this custom event runs. Um, here, this custom event runs. It checks to see if it's active, and then it adds that quest to your quest tree view. Now, this is important. If it's inactive, which we have already told our code to make it inactive here, set as inactive, um, we are removing the item from the quest tree. You don't need to do this. You can have it just crossed off your list. I'm doing this because I have a tiny phone that you are showing the quest list on, and I don't want the screen populated with a bunch of stuff having a character scroll up and down. Um, and then yeah, pretty much this is it. You're adding and taking away items as you need to on your menu. Hopefully this all makes sense. Uh, if it doesn't, I apologize. I can answer whatever questions you need. Um, if you do have them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, goodbye.